Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Product. You're now locked into the Life of Product Podcast. Shouts out to the people, man, to the listeners, to the streamers, everybody that rock with episode 84 and beyond, man. I appreciate y'all so much, man. The numbers is looking crazy. I was actually checking the analytics, man, and checking out all the other countries that are tuning in right now. Y'all really tapping in with the kid. Never thought from the first day I started this, y'all was gonna go that hard and really be over here, over there, really listening to the kid, man. So from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate y'all, man. Life is good, man. Life is good. It ain't great, but it's good. I'm appreciative, man. Yo, shouts out to my son, man. We have to go to his school tomorrow and we have to sign his early graduation papers. I am proud of you, kid. You are on the right path. Keep it going. There's gonna be times when life get dark. You are gonna make mistakes down the road. It's all good. You allowed to do that. You've been doing great so far. Let's keep the run going. Yeah. Episode 85, man. Episode 85 is titled "What Changed You." I know a lot of y'all probably listening like, "What hasn't changed me?" There's when you really look at like the key events in your life that have either went left or right, and it left a dent in your life, it left a positive impact. You are not the same person that you were 10 years ago, and I've been telling y'all this. Have you ever really looked back and be like, "Yo, what has changed me?" Yeah. Woo. A lot of things, man. A lot of things. Like, where do I start? Should I go to the beginning? You know what I'm saying? I've had key events that have changed me. Some I don't really want to talk about. Some I may never talk about. Some of them will take a lot more courage, a lot more energy, a lot more healing before I talk about, because there's been a lot of things in my life I'm not happy about. I still hold grudges about. I told y'all before, years ago, I got jumped when I was like 13 years old. I used to play baseball. I used to play for the PAL. Baseball was my outlet. That was baseball for me. Um, it was the thing that got me off of my block. You know what I'm saying? So y'all know, anybody that grew up in Brooklyn, y'all know the sports programs back in the 90s weren't the greatest. They weren't the greatest. A lot of the elementary schools I went to and the middle schools I went to, we didn't really quote unquote have teams. Like, it wasn't like that. Like, I knew people that went to school in Queens, they had that, all that. You had to kind of go in like a city program to play sports or whatever. I wanted to play football growing up. There was no football teams at my schools. I believe they had a basketball team, but I was not good at basketball. I had a really good jump shot and I had defense. So, but that's it. That's all I had. So I started playing baseball. I actually started playing baseball for the PAL, which was the Police Athletic League. I'm not the biggest person. I don't advocate for cops at all, but I played for that league. And it was great. I played for like a year and a half, had a trophy and all of that. I was an outfielder. Shouldn't have been an outfielder. I should have been a pitcher because I used to pitch at like a good 90 something miles an hour. I was nice with it. I was an outfielder. Didn't like it. Hated it. It was not for me. Not for me at all. So I mean, I did pretty good. You know what I'm saying? My batting average for like 70% of the season was 1,000. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. I could not hit the best. That's not why it was 1,000. And the reason is a funny story. The reason why my batting average was that great the most of the season going towards the end is because a lot of the teams we played against, for some reason, the pitchers were all intimidated. They were intimidated against me. They would walk me, like literally walk me. So I mean, it was great, and on average I would score because I was a base stealer. I was nice at stealing bases. This was right around the time I kind of started getting into my losing weight phase. But even though I was a fat kid, I was a fat kid, and I watched a lot of baseball. And the funny thing about that, the team I played for, we was called the Yankees, so it was a little special. And all we wore was Yankee hats. You know what I'm saying? That's all we rock with. Going into that, a kid I am not cool with no more. We're the same age. We were really good friends, almost best friends at one point from the first grade. If I see him today, we will not speak. That's who put me onto the team, and I loved it, man. It was great. So I used to play in Lincoln Terrace Park, which was literally about 2.5 blocks from my crib. Walk to the end of my block, walk to the end of the next side of Crown, and there was a little mini block right there. I think the street was Portal. It was like Portal Avenue or something like that. Right before you got to Rochester, where the park was at. So it was a short walk, not even a 5-minute walk. I'm at the park. I'm playing, I'm practicing or whatever. And shouts out to Coach Jimmy, man. I don't know if Coach Jimmy is still alive. I don't know what he's doing. Coach Jimmy is one of the coolest dudes I ever met. He was actually a fireman. Let me tell you something. Coach Jimmy loved two things in life. He loved the fire department and he loved baseball. And the kids on his baseball team, those was like his nephews, man. I remember playing baseball, having games in different parts, different areas. We used to play in East New York, Brownsville, all over Brooklyn. And Coach Jimmy would, if we didn't have parents at the time that could pick us up or meet us, Coach Jimmy would walk all of us home, dog. I mean, all of us. I remember one night, Coach Jimmy, I was the last person to walk home. Coach Jimmy walked me to my door, my apartment door. It was a lobby full of dudes. And I was like, yo, I was worried about Coach Jimmy. He was a tall, 6'1", 6'2", skinny Irish dude in the hood. Coach Jimmy was about that life. He didn't care. You could be in the grimiest building in Brooklyn. He would make sure you made it home safe. That's how dedicated Coach Jimmy was. What was dope about it, we ended up winning that season, man. I remember we got a trophy. We had a dinner. We went to the Hard Rock Cafe. They paid for us to have a dinner, and I didn't really like some of the kids on the team, but growing up in Brooklyn, I tell people you gotta be special. You gotta have a heart of steel because these kids grow up in homes where they mimic their parents, and a lot of us New Yorkers, we tend to not be the most friendliest people, and in turn, New Yorkers who are not the most friendliest people tend to not have the most friendliest kids. You know what I'm saying? So you would think that us being on a team, we was like this and nah, there was a lot of smack talking. There was a lot of fights that almost broke out. There was a lot. It was a lot. But for me, I was already accustomed to that. I was already used to that. That was my outlet. You know what I'm saying? That was my way of not getting in trouble, not getting in fights on Crown Street, not being around a rah-rah. Like my friend started smoking weed, all of that. Baseball was my outlet. And if it wasn't gonna be my outlet in life and long term, it was gonna be my outlet for the moment. So the season ends, we do real good. We were so good. Um, we had what was it called? We had the All-Star game, and majority of our team was on the All-Star team. So I got to play. Not only did I win a trophy that season, I got to play on the All-Star team. I got to play in the All-Star game, and we did our thing. It was mostly our team and kids because our stats individually were great. So it was mostly our team and with a few kids from other teams that were really good too. So we end the season. New season comes. The second season I played, I didn't play the whole season. It wasn't so welcoming. It was not. It was actually one of the worst experiences of my life because I've always tended to be an outsider. Like when the second season started, I like to read a room. I would read the dugout. And these were honestly some of the most horrible kids I ever met in my life. And I met some bad kids. These kids was horrible. These kids was horrible. If you came to me right now, you said, "Oh, did XYZ's happen in life and it's bad," I would not even care. I wouldn't. I'm not saying I was bad on them. It was horrible. So this a lot of things in my life leading up to that affected me, changed me. But this one particular event in my life, it changed me, and I can honestly say that it changed me. So I'm going to practices every day. We leading up to the games. I'm the outsider on the team. A lot of these kids was playing baseball with each other before I started playing last year. They was playing for years. They was playing when they was younger. Mind you, we like 13, 14, 15 years old. They all rock with each other. I'm the outsider. They don't like me. I'm the kid from Crown Street. I'm the quiet kid. You got kids from Union Street, kids from St. John's Place, all that. So this was in the mid-90s, back in the hip-hop era. I was in the hip-hop heavy. This is around the time I started rapping. Nobody really knew I was writing. I used to listen to Biggie's Life After Death every day, every single day. My pops had a banging stereo system in the living room. It was amazing, dog. It was he was about that. Like we had the CD player hooked up with the record player. You could transfer music from the CD player and the record player if you wanted to take cassettes. You know what I'm saying? So I used to, me being in the hood at that time, hip hop was a jewel. It was a gem. So I took my Life After Death CD, put the whole thing on the tape. You know what I'm saying? Every day in the dugout, I used to listen to my Walkman. Mind you, it was a cheap Walkman. It was a little $10 Walkman off of Utica Avenue that I bought from Cards and Gift. If anybody from old Brooklyn, old Crown Heights knows anything about anything, Cards and Gift was on Utica Avenue. That's where I went. I got it. I paid $10 for it. Didn't even have a rewind button. only had a fast forward button. So if you needed to rewind your tape and you wanted to listen to a song again, you had to flip it over and fast forward it, kind of time it in your head, put it back to the other side and see where you was at with it. That's what it was. So there was a Panamanian kid named Mark. I knew Mark from the previous year when I played on the other team. That wasn't my man's. We wasn't cool like that. And to this, I would love to see this dude. I would if I ran into this dude today, just know it is what it is. Me and Mark was the same age. Mark hit me with the okie doke. If you know what the okie doke is, you know what's popping. Can I listen to it? I want to listen to it. I wasn't gonna give it to him because I didn't rock with him like that. It was my time to go back or whatever, and I had to after with the turnover, I had to go from batting to outfield. They put me back in the outfield, which I didn't want to be at. Let him listen to it. About maybe 7-8 minutes later, after we go up the bat, the turnover, I play a little defense, come back. I'm like, yo, let me get my Walkman. Yo, I ain't got it. I'm like, come on, stop playing with me. Give me my Walkman. I'm getting mad now. Mind you, people on the old team and this team, they never saw me really get mad. These kids used to say whatever. I used to keep my cool because I left my block every day, whether it was the summertime, whether it was after school, to go to practice, to go to games, to get away from that. So imagine you leave somewhere to try to temporarily create happiness for yourself, and you can't because the people around you are not happy. They want problems. They want to create problems, and they feel stronger than you because you're by yourself. Mind you, I had a big family. I had a crazy brother, crazy cousins. None of these dudes know this. I'm there just to play baseball because at one point I wanted to play professionally. Son hit me with the okie doke. Yo, I ain't got your Walkman. So I get up. I stand over him and I flex hard like, yo, give me my Walkman. I never seen that kid Mark scared in my life until that day. And to this day, it is his fault, mostly / partially, this whole situation happened. So if I ask people what changed you, I'm letting you know I got jumped that day. That is what changed me. That changed me. So standing over, homie, I was about to smack this kid or whatever. Mind you, this is around the time I was boxing previously. Before that, this was right around the time I started doing judo. A kid pushes me from behind. It was a little short kid. Little short kid from St. John's Place. He was the shortest kid on the team. He was maybe a year older than me, if not the same age. Shortest kid on the team, the most smack talking kid on the team. And I didn't know at the time his brother and his cousin was on the team. I didn't know that. And I figured out later, that's why this kid felt like he could say whatever he wanted to say. I used to see this kid start problems with people. Boom, boom, boom. I bet. Kid pushes me from behind. Mind you, there's no adults over there. All adults, I don't know where they at. It's nothing but kids in the dugout. Mind you, one of the only adults out there was the coach. I hate that coach to this day. He was nothing like Coach Jimmy. This coach wasn't a stand-up dude. He used to curse the kids out on the team. He used to come in there, run his mouth, boom, boom, boom. If I seen this dude today, I would fight him. Yeah, I would. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Listen, man, don't criticize me. Don't criticize me. This is how I feel, and I have a right to feel how I feel. Kid pushes me from behind. He was like, I got your called me the N-word. Well, you know what I'm saying? I said, oh, word? He pushed me from behind. I turn around. He says what he says. Pushes me again. The kid wanted to fight me. Mind you, I said, all right, 3-piece the kid. I 3-piece the kid and dropped him. Nobody knew I had hands. Nobody knew that. I was the quietest kid on the team. Everybody's looking like, oh, everybody's quiet now. After I 3-piece the kid, I grabbed him, throw him on the fence. We're tussling or whatever. Giving this kid that work. I get punched from the back, but on the right side of my jaw. Drop, one punch, drop. I get dropped, one punch. I get right back up. I turn around. I see a kid that was on the team. Get off my brother. I'm like, yo. Now, back of my mind, I'm like, I can't fight both of these dudes right now in the dugout. There was too many people in the dugout. I had the one I just 3-piece. I see him finally getting up. He was like kind of delirious. And I see the other dude. I say, okay, bet. So I take the fight to the dugout. So as I take the fight out the dugout. We go to the middle of the what's the name. I tripped. The brother that hit me, we about to start swinging. He catches me with like a floor sweep or whatever, tries to swing. I duck the punch, but I roll. The cousin, I see him coming out of nowhere. He's like, "You trying to hit my cousin?" He tries to hit me with a bat. I roll out the way. I had a knife in my pocket. I grabbed the knife. I was about to pull a knife out. The coach saw me, didn't stop the fight. He was letting all three of these dudes try to jump me. They're literally basically jumping me in the middle of it. Didn't say nothing when the kid swung the bat at me. Didn't say nothing when the kid hit me from behind. Didn't say nothing about the Walkman. When I put my hand in my pocket and he saw me grabbing the knife, he gives me this look like, "You better not pull that knife out." There was a voice in my head, and the voice in my head honestly was like, "Don't do it." I walked away from the fight. I walked away from it after that. Sometimes you have to know when to take a L and to walk away from certain stuff, because it's not appropriate. If I would have pulled that knife out, one had a bat, one already rocked one of them. He was kind of like falling back. I'm fist fighting the other one. What would have happened if I would have pulled that knife out? What would have happened? It would have been really bad. Now I would have had to re-engage and fight two people, one with a weapon bigger than mine, stronger than mine. Mind you, a knife could have did a lot of damage. I would have took the hit with the bat. I could have stabbed the kid, but where would in the back of my mind, I said to myself, if I stab this kid right now, where am I gonna be at? That event changed me. It changed my perspective on a lot. I became a very, very cold person after that. And I'm not gonna lie, that coldness is still there. Cheers, the boy Product Life of Produk Podcast. We will be right back with the second part of the show. Shouts out to Anchor FM for the sponsorship. I love all of y'all. Thank you for the distribution. We will be right. What up, man? It's the boy Product. We're now back with the Life of Product Podcast. This is episode 85. Shouts out to Anchor, man. Shouts out to the YouTube subscribers. Shouts out to the streamers, the supporters, family, friends, newbies. I love all of y'all. I love all of y'all, man. Thank you so much, man. This is episode 85. Episode 85 is titled "What Changed You?" And so in the first part of the show, I was talking about when I got jumped when I was like 13 years old. I got and that fight took place in Albany Projects, the baseball park in Albany Projects. Mind you, none of us was from Albany Projects. I've been to Albany Projects plenty of times. I got family in Albany Projects. Before I had family that moved there, I had friends before that and after that lived in Albany Projects. I've been in Albany Projects plenty of times. None of them was from the P's over there. It was all from outside of it. So I think a lot of people don't think about what can happen. The kid. The funny thing is, the kid that who I let hold the Walkman originally, he looked scared the whole time. The kid looked scared the whole time. The kid who escalated the situation, he got taught a life lesson that day. He got taught a serious life lesson. He got taught a serious life lesson that day. You know what? And people could look at it like, yo, Keys got jumped. He got jumped. You got three-pieced. Mind you, I wasn't a small kid. I wasn't the tallest kid, but I wasn't a small kid. Not only was I not the small kid, I punched very hard. I hit this kid so hard. I punched this kid like I was trying to swing through a sheetrock wall. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all have to, whether you're 13 years old, whether you're 30 years old, you have to understand two things. One, everything comes with a consequence. Two, you will be held accountable for everything that you do. That situation, me being jumped at that age, it changed me. It changed me after the fight. You know what I'm saying? And I'm walking away. I ended up running. I ran to a store like down Schenectady Avenue, and I ran to the store. I had to use a payphone. I called my mother, and I ran into the store, and I grabbed the payphone, and the owner was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I said, "Yo, I just got jumped. I gotta call my mother." He was like, "Yo, get out. You can't use my phone. Get out, mom. You're a whole adult. You're a whole adult, and I'm telling you, I just got jumped. I'm a kid. You should be ashamed of yourself. I hope your business is done after that." There was two old dudes sitting in the store. A lot of y'all know, man, Brooklyn, back in the day, there would be random people sitting in the stores. Two old dudes reading the newspaper. And one of the old dudes, instead of extending his hand and saying, "Yo, let me help you," he goes, "Nah, that was my son. I'll make him go back out there and fight all of them." Fam, what do you think I just did? What do you think I just did? And this situation, it really changed me. It changed how I look at people. It changed a lot of stuff. I became a very cold person. Very cold person. The world is cold. I'm not about to be out here warm and hot or giggity. No. You want to get cold, we can get colder. We can get frostbitten, fam. I don't care. We can go negative 10 degrees. That's the type of time I'm on. That situation changed me. It's funny because about a year and some change after that, maybe about 2 years after that, right before I moved out of Brooklyn. I'm in Wingate. I'm a freshman. Right before I moved out of Brooklyn, I was in Manhattan one night. Anybody know Crown Heights? Yeah, I know back in the day, the 3 train that's on Eastern Parkway. Utica Avenue stayed open 24 hours. Schenectady Avenue closed after like what 2, 3 o'clock, something like that. So it was kind of like if you came off the train on that, people used to call it the dark side. Like if you walked out of the Schenectady Ave side station and you walked on the side where the other side of Eastern Parkway, like if you go into a St. John's and all of that, that was like the dark side. So this is the Metro card era now. We're not using tokens really no more. I'm coming from Manhattan one night. It's a Friday night. I flexed on the train, jumped up to Manhattan. I got home like around 7:30. Train comes into the station. I got a hoodie on, book bag on. I'm walking up the steps. I see the kid that escalated the whole situation. He doesn't even see me. I stopped. I said, "Oh, this is such and such." I'm standing maybe about 7, 8 feet behind him. I'm acting like I'm about to, because they had the machines where you could swipe your card and check your balance. He's swiping it for like a minute. I can literally hear his brother and somebody else up with the string up at the steps, like, yo, hurry up. We've been waiting for you like 2 minutes. Hurry up. The kid didn't know I was behind him. He like, nah, the machine messed up. I had a knife on me. And I had the knife in my pocket. My hand was gripped on it. And all I could see was me stabbing this kid in his head. This is a true story. I didn't do it. Didn't do it. That little voice in my head said, don't do it, Marquise. There's been a lot of situations in my life where I almost jumped off the ledge. And a little voice in my head, and I credit all of this to God, he said, don't do it. That voice in my head said, don't do it. And I literally sat there, even after I decided not to do it, just sitting there thinking of other things I could have did to this kid. I could have did this kid dirty. I could have did him dirty and literally walked off with no consequence. They would have never known. See, back then, they didn't really have the camera systems that they have now. And they didn't, to my knowledge, I don't think they had cameras because other stuff happened in the train station those years. We never see no footage of it. And with me having a hoodie on and the way I came off the train, I used to always walk with my head down and my headphones on. Can't really see who I was. So I could have really, really did this kid dirty. Funny story, man. A few years after that, and I think I told y'all this story. A few years after that, I came back to Brooklyn to visit me and my brother. I'm driving through Brooklyn and I see the brother. And I was about to hop out and give him that work. And I was talked out of it. A few years after that, when I moved back to Brooklyn, me and my mother, we used to have a really good relationship. I was never a mama's boy, but we were very close. And she knew the situation with me getting jumped. And I told her about it. It was just on my mind because it affected me for years. Of that being jumped affected me for years, right? So I told her about the situation, and she was like, she said, I didn't know if you knew this, but he got killed a couple years ago. And I was like, wow, this was, I forgot how many years ago this was. But she said, yeah, he got shot. Somebody shot the brother, the oldest brother. Do I feel anything about it? No, I really don't. I really don't. And I'm not saying this to be mean, but I mean, y'all did what y'all did. Another funny story. I forgot how many years ago it was. Social media is a thing, right? Social media is a thing, and it's a thing. So I forgot how many years ago. I wake up one day, I'm checking my notifications. I get a friend request. From the kid who escalated the situation after I gave my Walkman to the Panamanian kid. And I'm sitting there like, I don't, to this day, like, and I'm like, fam, I know you know who I am. I know you know who I am. I might not have the braids no more. I might be a little taller, but I know you know who I am. I could literally look you in your face. Even though you are not the same kid, look, you're not a kid no more. You're a grown man. I could look you in your face and tell you are who you are. So I did a little snooping like we all do. We all do a little snooping, right? I never confirmed the friend request. It's literally sitting there. I left it there purposely. Did a little snooping, and apparently the dude is on some type of love life journey, calling everybody bro, love and light, peace be with you and stuff. I don't buy none of that. Maybe he is on it. Maybe after his brother getting killed, it changed his life. Maybe he experienced things in life that changed his outlook. Hopefully he did. Whoop-de-doo, that's great. But ain't no love on this side. Ain't no love on this side. I three-pieced you when we was younger. I got another three-piece for you if you ever want it again. And I think and the funny thing is we actually kind of know some of the same people. I'm not from that block. I've been on that block plenty of times before that and after that. Nobody touched me. But my thing is, I guess you could say maybe I haven't healed from it. I've accepted it. I don't have to heal from everything I went through. No, because I'm not gonna give people that satisfaction saying, "Oh, we jumped him, but he's good now." I don't care how many years ago that happened. I don't, and I'm allowed to feel that way. I think it's a good thing I've never ran into him as a grown man. I didn't really. The only time I ran into him after the situation, after the fight, was that time. And to this day, he doesn't even know I was behind him. He said if he ever heard this podcast or if he saw me and I told him, he probably would not believe me. I was literally standing a few feet away from you and you did not know. You had no clue. You had no clue. And you could possibly not be alive right now. So you need to count your blessings. So whatever love and light, whatever journey this dude is on from what I was seeing on his social media, that's great. Whatever you went through in life to get you there, that's great. It is what it is. And this is what y'all got to understand. Y'all got to understand everything come with a consequence. You can't keep winning in life when you do stuff to people like that. You can't, because there are people tougher than you. There's people that got more numbers, that's more stronger in numbers than you. There's people that got more guns than you, brother. They have more. They have more. I wouldn't even accept an apology from dude for starting that. You know what I'm saying? You know who I would love this? I would love to run into the kid who I gave the Walkman to. I would love to see him. You know what? People might think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy at all. I feel like a lot of people such as myself that was in that type of situation, we are owed something. There's a sense of retribution or whatever. We are owed from people that have done things like that to us. You have. And it's messed up. Like, you started a situation, you stepped up for the fair one, you lost. And then in turn, I get punched from behind. I got to fight you, your brother, and your cousin. But that's how it is in Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn, baby. But these are the things, honestly, if I had a chance to do all these things over again, I wouldn't, because these are the things that made me who I am today. They made me strong. They made me self-sufficient. They made me self-conscious, and they made me humble and appreciative of the journey that I've had to take. Was it an easy journey? Nah, it was not an easy journey. It was that right there. It took me a while as a kid to really, really get over that. It made me become very edgy. It made me always look at situations to where if there was a sense of confrontation with the person, I was ready to go, automatically ready. And I'm somewhat still like that right now as a grown man. If I have a disagreement with somebody, I'm cool with walking away. I'm cool with keeping my cool. But that Brooklyn side in me is like, yo, son, get ready, because I know what it is and I know how people are. And honestly, y'all might think it's worse as a kid. It gets worse as an adult. Y'all might see adults seem to talk through things. Not that adult has way more potential to screw you over than that kid in a situation like that, just in different ways. It might not be in the same way. It might not be getting you jumped. It might not be that, but they have ways to screw you over. They could call the cops on you. They could lie on you, dirt your name, all kinds of stuff that they could do to you. But G is the boy product, Life of Produk Podcast. I really wanted to share that with y'all and let y'all know that whatever you've been through in life, you can get past it. If it was years ago, you can get past it. You don't have to accept it and be cool with it, but you can get past it. You can still maintain day to day. I maintain day to day. You know, there was in my earlier years, there was a point in life I thought about that every day. There's times I still think about it. And from my mouth to y'all ears, this one day the show is gonna pop. One day the show is gonna be bigger than what it is. Even though it's grown, it's gonna be bigger than what it is. And to the kid that started that situation with borrow my Walkman and playing that whole situation, come see me, brother. Come see me. No, matter of fact, don't come see me. If you do come see me, it's gonna come with a consequence. But I'm letting you know, the day I find you, my radar is going off. It is, because you owe me one, B. You owe me one. And to the dude who escalated that situation, I don't know where your life is at, but congratulations. G, it's the boy Product, Life of Produk Podcast, episode 85. What changed you? Shouts out to the people. Shouts out to the supporters. I'm out, baby. Gia.